All right. And we are live. What's up, metalheads? Welcome to another episode of Full Metal 5. And as you can tell, we are doing the top 5 football movies in honor of the biggest game in America and some parts of Canada, the Super Bowl, by a unusually stacked panel. First of all, I'll go to my admin buddy. He hasn't been here for a while. It's RJ. RJ, what's up, man? This is your doing. You excited to be here today?
Well, you may now refer to me as the Power Rangers Iron Man champion. Thank you. We can add that to my title before my name every time before I'm introduced. Just saying. But no, no, honestly, I've been wanting to do something sports related for a while. I enjoy the hell out of sports movies, football ones especially. I'm pretty sure there's more football ones out there than most. So yeah, I just thought, you know what, Super Bowl's coming up. Why not let's just talk about football movies? So this is gonna be fun.
Why the hell not? Why the hell not? All right, and we also have, in addition to me and my admin, but great panelist of players. First of all, returning player, he is Dan Skip Allen. Dan, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm glad to be on this episode because if anybody knows about football, it's somebody that's wearing a Patriots hat. We really know our football. And you know, I know football movies as well.
Someone check the status of its balls. It might be a little flat. Anyway, also here, but also returning, is Jessica Morgan. Jessica, what's up?
Hey guys, I realized I was going to be on this about 20 minutes ago.
Sometimes 20 minutes is all you need. All right. We also have 2 new panelists today. First of all, he is the Wolf. You see him everywhere. It is Jim Green. Jim, what's up?
It's good to be on one talking about football. You know, who's gonna know football more than someone wearing a Texas Pee Wee jersey here? You know, from Texas.
From Texas. Texas forever.
You can't just go buy this at
Dick's
Sporting Goods. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
And rounding out our panel, it is Jeff Varhu. I hope I said that right. Jeff, what's up?
You tried with the last time. No worries. I'm excited to be on here for my first Full Metal 5-way. Excited to be here talking some football. And as you can tell, I'm a disgruntled Ravens fan at this point. So it is what it is at this point. Sure. Maybe next year.
All right. Well, maybe next year. Probably not. Doesn't matter. We're not here to talk about the NFL. We're here to talk about football movies because we do on this channel. So here's how Full Metal 5 works for those of you who are new joining us. What we do is we curate a top 5 list in 3 different selection processes. First one is the nominations period. What we're each going to do, we're going to go around and nominate a different football movie until we get to a top 7. In order for a movie to make the top 7, someone has to nominate it, and out of the other 5 panelists, 3 of them will have to give it a yes. So, RJ, I will let you go first since this is your brainchild. What do you want to nominate as your first football movie?
All right. Pretty sure this movie's not going to make the top 5, but I want to talk about it.
Oh boy.
I don't think enough people talked about it when it came out, and that's Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Now, before this broadcast, I was telling everybody, I'll tell you guys now, I'm from Texas, born and raised, but I could care less about football. I'm a hockey guy. I'm sorry, just football never clicked with me, even though my dad's a football coach. Of course, all my cousins played football. I was just the black sheep of the family who just couldn't really care less about it. However, when you get a movie that makes me care about a process behind the scenes of a sport that I couldn't care less about, I mean, I don't know what it was about this movie. I watched that movie maybe 10 times. And even though I know how that movie ends, the suspense still gets me every time. Something about the way they build up this selection process in the background, how they go through all the backhand deals that are going on behind, trying to get the highest number you can, trying to pick people at certain numbers so you don't have to pay them as much. I mean, it was just a really interesting film. And though no actual football was played in it, I mean, it was just a really fun movie to watch about how the NFL kind of works. And Kevin Costner is one of my favorite actors, so it was fun to watch him in the lead role and all the other cameos. Dennis Leary was in it, Terry Crews. I know there was one professional football player whose name I always forget.
Arian Foster.
Yeah, that guy. He was in it. He was fine in his little role.
Goodell
Black
was in
Panther
it.
himself, Chadwick Boseman, was like one of the main players that was getting selected. It was just a really fun movie. I don't think it gets talked about enough, but I think it at least deserves consideration.
Wow, from Jingle All the Way to Draft Day. All right. So now we go to the man. Jeff, you're a newbie, so we'll go to you first. Does Draft Day make top 7?
I'm surprised you mentioned it, RJ. That's a great movie. I do like Draft Day a lot. However, it is an honorable mention for me because, yeah, like you mentioned, it really does explore a lot of the ins and outs of the drafting process and really made for a very interesting movie and very surprisingly good movie. The only thing that really killed it with me in that movie was the whole Kevin Costner, Jennifer Garner forced relationship there. That borderline ruined it for me. But otherwise, yeah, like the whole third act and the whole drafting process, it kept you on your toes and it kept you engaged in the movie, which I think when you talk about a process like this, it can get kind of boring, but it did it so well. But unfortunately, I think there's just a couple other that are better. Unfortunately, just missed my list.
All right, so that's a 1 no from Jeff. Let's go to Dan next. Dan, does make top 7?
No, it doesn't. I love Kevin Costner. He's in 3 of the greatest baseball movies ever. He's in a golf movie, of course. He's in Draft Day, and he's a great actor. There's no doubt about it. But Draft Day doesn't even come close to the top 7 football movies, in my opinion. And yeah, it's not on the list at all.
All right. Let's go to that's 2 no's. Jessica, you could shut this down. Jessica, does Draft Day make top 7?
Sorry, man. I'm going to shut this one down.
Oh, no problem.
Ooh.
I've got 9 things written down on my list, and none of these are even close to Draft Day.
All right. Well, that is it. Draft Day does not make top 7. Big for me personally is I can get a vote. I do agree Draft Day was a lot better than I thought it was going to be because you think like a March football movie starring Kevin Costner, directed by the guy who did Ghostbusters, and not a lot else worth noting. It sounds like it was gonna suck, and it was actually pretty enjoyable. But personally, I don't think it's top 7. Jim, what would you have said about Draft Day?
Short and sweet. No. Just yeah.
Okay.
I agree with Jeff where it'd probably be an honorable mention for me, but no.
Okay. Well, that was unanimous. Good for us. All right. Now I'll go to me next. When I think football movies, I think of the bond between the team, and a movie that really resonated with me was Peter Berg's Friday Night Lights. Mainly because I like RJ and also Jim. I also grew up in Texas. I played high school football, and the painting they paint of what it's like to play football in a small town, and like how you're this big thing, and then once that's over, like it's almost like you're nothing. It's a really like real portrayal of what it's like to be a Texas high school football athlete. Billy Bob Thornton's great in it. Lucas Black is great in it. Jay Hernandez, El Diablo from the shitty Suicide Squad movie, he's in it. And he's really good. The football scene is done really well. Granted, you take some liberties from the actual story, but it else for dramatic effect, and it's still kind of remains true to the spirit of the story and the novel. So my nomination goes to Friday Night Lights. Jim, you did not get a vote last time, so what do you say? Does Friday Night Lights make top 7?
Who?
Jim.
You dear.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, well, since we're going to me first, I guess. I mean, when you say small town Chance, I mean, that's, Odessa Permian is kind of a 6A school, and those are that's one of the upper tiers of Texas football, Texas high school football. And for me, that's one of my favorite. That one's probably in my top 3, because that's a great movie on what it's like to play high school football and how a town centers around football in Texas, and of course during the Friday Night Lights Friday night football games. So that's a huge yes for me.
All right. Let's go to RJ next. RJ, Friday Night Lights. Does it make top 7?
I'm still kind of probably being the minority, and like I said, this is not against Draft Day. I knew Draft Day was going to make it. I just want to talk about it, but it's going to have to be a no for me with Friday Night Lights. Not that it's not an amazing movie with amazing actors. It's just when I talk to people, anytime I bring up Friday Night Lights, everyone's automatically the show, and I'm like, no, the movie. And to me, when a movie resonates, when the show oversees the movie in like conversation to me, that movie's not top 5 worthy. And when it comes to just a movie about high school football, I think there are better ones. So that's why Friday Night Lights for me wouldn't make the nomination list.
Well, that's because the show was on for like 5 years, where the movie was just one and done.
That's fair. I'm just saying. I'm saying my piece.
And Taylor Kitchen's dreamy.
I didn't get at you guys when y'all said no to Draft Day, so let's keep it civil.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. Let's go to Jeff next. Jeff, Friday Night Lights. Does it make top 7?
Oh, this is a definite yes for me. Friday Night Lights really captured what you said. Yeah, it captures what it means to be a team and what it means to bond as a team, especially in a small town. And it shows the pressure going through these players' minds. It's very psychological, especially with a very underrated performance from, is it Tim McGraw, I believe?
Yes, Tim McGraw.
Yeah, Tim McGraw was the father.
It was Tim McGraw. That's right.
Yeah, Tim McGraw played the father and gave a really good performance in that, and really showed like a past star putting the pressure on a current star, and it really created such an interesting dynamic. And just like when they had their first loss, and you just saw how defeated they look, you could tell how much this meant to them, and it showed just how beautifully directed this was. This is a hard yes for me.
Okay. So, we only need one more yes. Let's go to Jessica. Friday Night Lights. Make top 7.
Oh, you mean does a movie about a small town high school football team resonate with a girl who grew up in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, and graduated with 66 people in her entire graduating class? Yeah, this one resonates just a little bit.
66?
My whole graduating class was 66 people. Believe me, I know small town football. This is small town football.
We'll talk about that later. But for right now, Friday Night Lights is the very first movie to make top 7. And for the record, I just want to say one of my last games I played in high school football was in the Odessa Permian Stadium. So that's I'm glad that made the list. Dan, what would you have said?
Yeah, I have 7 movies that I was gonna have in my top 7, and number 7 was going to be Friday Night Lights. So I would have definitely voted for Friday Night Lights.
All right, right on. All right, let's go to one of the newbies. Let's go to Jeff. First movie you want to nominate for the top 7.
All right, so first movie I want to nominate. When I saw it when it came out, oh man, this was 15 years ago now at least. It showed to me this was much more than just a game. It showed, just like Friday Night Lights, it's about a brotherhood, it's about a bond, and it can transcend a lot of things. I'm talking about Remember the Titans. This to me showed it was so powerful, and especially during a time when there was segregation and racial tensions going on between everybody, this defied all the odds, and it showed how people of different race can come together, put their differences aside, and make something magical happen. I adore this movie.
All right, so Remember Friday Night Lights is on the table. Let's go to my count last time. Does top 7?
Well, once again, I have 7 films in my top 7, and one of those films is Remember the Titans. Denzel Washington is phenomenal in this film. The story of the split town. I live in a town that had a split high school, black high school and a white high school, and they conjoined into one high school. And this film takes place in Virginia and in the South, and they have those racial issues back in the day and so forth. And I thought it really captured what small towns, interracial integration and all that stuff, and it used football as a means to do that, and high school and so forth. So I definitely have Remember the Titans. This is a no-brainer for me.
All right. Me next. And yeah, I give Remember the Titans a big yes. I do think this is a great movie about football and also a great movie about, getting over differences. Denzel Washington's great in this movie. You got a great role from Ryan Hurst. I believe Wood Harris is also in this movie. Avon Barksdale from The Wire. You also got a fantastic early role from Ryan Gosling, who would have known what that little kid from Remember the Titans would be one of the sexiest men alive. All right, so that's one yes from two yeses. Let's go to Jim next. Jim, Remember the Titans. Does it make the list?
Remember the Titans is the movie that got me into football. I remember watching it with my dad, and that was such a powerful movie because it deals so much with no matter what is going on around you. When you put these on, whoever is on your team wearing this with you, that's your brother, that's your family. It doesn't matter anything else that's going on. It doesn't matter if you're at school and some bad stuff happened. When you go on that field, that's your family. And it's just such a powerful movie, and Denzel's great in it. And it's easy. This was the easiest yes for me. This is what I would have nominated had it got to me.
All right, so that is it. Remember the Titans makes top 7. Jay votes do not count. So what would you say, Jessica? Would you again Remember the Titans a yes?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right, right on. And RJ, what would you say about Remember the Titans?
I mean, Remember the Titans, I think, is easily the most automatic, like, no duh, that was going to make the nomination list. I mean, just like everyone is saying, I think when people think of football movies, if Remember the Titans isn't the first movie that comes to your mind, I would be amazed to see which one is, because Remember the Titans was just a phenomenon when it came out. If I'm not mistaken, it was one of Disney's first real big sports movies that they were doing before they went on a streak of pretty good sports movies. And I mean, what a way to kick it off. And like you said, all the young and older talent that was in there. I mean, hell, we even had freaking Hayden Panettiere when she was just a little kid, and she almost stole the scene every time she was in the scene with her dad. I mean, it's one of those great movies that will always be great and is always a great watch. And if you're a fan of football, you should definitely be watching this movie.
Right on. All right. So that's it. Remember the Titans get the second spot on the top 7. Jessica, your vote didn't nominate anything, so I will let you go next. What do you want to throw up for top 7 football movies?
Sorry, who?
You, Jessica, you.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna go with The Replacements.
Really?
Keanu Reeves in a sports movie. Gene Hackman as the freaking football coach, and having to deal with prissy ass, expletive deleted football players. Dan, I'm looking at your hat right now. And having to go through the colleges and the prisons and the shady ass boat docks, try to find a actual winning football team. This thing was some good TV.
All right, wow. Something I never would have called. The Replacements is on the table. RJ, your vote did not count last time. We'll go to you first. Does The Replacements make top 7?
Well, if no one's paying to my reaction, absolutely yes. I mean, The Replacements, oh my God. I don't care what anyone says about this movie. This was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. One of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies, actually. It might even be in my top 5 for him. And the other actors that were in there too, or Orlando Brown. God, what is that British dude's name? I always confuse him with Paul Bentley, but that's not his name.
Vinny Jones.
He's freaking hilarious. Faison Love in it. Jon Favreau looking the most ripped he ever does in his career. I mean, as the crazy linebacker. I mean, it was a great comedy that had some great football in it. And if you want to talk about an underdog story and an original football story, nothing tops guys who never got their chance to play in the NFL coming together and proving that all they needed was a chance. So, yes, The Replacements should definitely be in consideration.
All right. So, one vote for with the replacements, let's go to Jim next. Jim, does the replacements make top 7?
For me, I mean, I just remember so vividly the "I Will Survive" in the prison scene. That's just like one of the best scenes in that whole movie for me. And you gotta love Keanu. I mean, he as Shane Falco, even though he did choke in the Sugar Bowl, but potato. So
it happens.
Yeah, the replacements is a yes for me.
All right, so that's 2 yeses. Next, Jeff, does the replacements make top 7?
This just made it for me. I completely forgot how much I love this movie until everybody started talking about it. I completely forgot too. John Madden was in this movie too, and John Madden is just amazing at everything he does. But yeah, everybody's so good in this movie. It is so memorable. And when you take a movie that doesn't have any licensed NFL teams, it's hard enough. You're already facing an uphill battle in some ways, but it made it in such a good way, and it made it very easy to watch. So this is a definite good one for me. Definite yes.
Okay. Replacements makes top 7. Dan, what would you say about the replacements?
No, I wouldn't have voted for it. It's funny, and it's got some memorable scenes, and Keanu Reeves is okay, and Gene Hackman's okay in it, but I just had other films that I would have put in. Instead, I'm kind of going for more dramatic football movies than comedic football movies or little children football movies. I want serious, good movies, not comedies.
We can boo this man later, but I think I would also edge towards no, not because I don't love Keanu and I don't love Gene Hackman. I think I'm going to simply stand there. Other movies I want to throw up on this list, but nevertheless, the replacements makes top 7. All right, Dan, we'll go to you next. Your vote didn't count. You have nominated nothing, so put on for top 7 football movies.
All right, I got a movie that probably none of you have seen, and it's clearly in my opinion,
so don't say it.
Best football movie I have ever seen, and I've been watching football movies since I was about 5 or 6 years old, and this is a tearjerker. You will cry when you watch this movie because it's a true story. It's about real people playing in a real game and actors portraying real NFL football players, and the name of the movie is called Brian's Song, and Brian's Song is about Gale Sayers and Brian Piccolo, portrayed by Billy D. Williams and James Caan. Now, they're both rookies. They go to the Chicago Bears as rookies, one from Wake Forest, one from Kansas. And needless to say, Gale Sayers is like a star. He's a star player. He gets hurt. He hurts his ankle or his knee. He's out. Who kind of pushes him to come back into the game? But Brian Piccolo by James Caan. Then what happens? James Caan comes down with a debilitating disease, Brian Piccolo. And who helps him through that tough time in his life? And that disease is cancer. The disease is cancer. And Gale Sayers helps him during that hard time and helps try to ease the pain that he's going through during this time. And if you do not have, there's a couple scenes in this movie that if you do not cry at these scenes, you are just don't have a soul in your body if you can't cry at a couple of these scenes. That's how emotional Brian's Song is, and it's clearly one of, if not the greatest football movie I have ever seen, and I've seen close to 30-something football movies. So that's what I elect. Brian's Song.
Okay, so Brian's Song. I will go first. Now, we gotta preface this. Brian's Song was technically a TV movie. We usually work in theatrical releases, but you know what? In this case, I will count that one, and I will give Brian's Song a hefty yes because the story of Gale Sayers was one of the most interesting stories in sports history, and the fact that they can do that with good actors. James Caan's great in the movie. Billy D. Williams, Gale Sayers was phenomenal in the movie. And yeah, it hits you on such an emotional level that, despite the fact that it's a TV movie, I'm still gonna give it a yes. So, we'll go to. I saw Jeff react, so I'll go to Jeff next. Jeff, does Brian's song make the list?
Oh, this is a big yes for me. Dan, thank you for saying this movie. Oh man, I remember seeing this movie when I was a kid and crying then, and if I watch it today, I'll cry again. Yeah, if you do not feel anything from this movie, you do not have a soul. You do not have a heart. Everybody, you could be the toughest guy out there, you will bawl your eyes out of this movie, and it's just so good. It's just so good. Hard yes.
Okay. That is Brian's song. We only need one more vote to ratify it. RJ, does Brian's song make top 7? RJ.
I'm just gonna have to say no just because I haven't seen it. I've heard about it and I've heard it's a really great movie, but I can't give a solid yes because I haven't seen it, so I can't say if I would consider it a top 5 football movie, unfortunately.
Jim, I'm just gonna skip past you because I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Yes, please go.
He's not even gonna admit it. Yeah, I'm just going to Jessica. Jessica, have you seen Brian's song and does it make top 7?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I would get kicked out of this fucking state if I did not vote yes on Brian's song. Like, I'm pretty sure up next to John Brown, the heroes of Kansas include Gale Sayers. Like, I have to say yes. Although I am the soulless bitch who did not cry at this movie.
I gotta ask, like, are there like statues of like Gale Sayers in Kansas? There's got to be, right?
Pretty sure there's a few down there in Wichita where he's from, and pretty well all over the KU campus.
All right. Well, Brian's song makes top 7, and I believe the only person to not nominate something is Jim. So, Jim, you get to go next.
Thank you for skipping me on Brian's song because I have not seen that either. So I was with RJ on that one.
No, I know.
But because of my other 2 high school football movies got taken, I'm gonna go. Let's go back to Texas and let's go back to high school. And I gotta go. I gotta go with Varsity Blues. I mean, it's such a cheesy movie. It's kind of like Friday Night Lights, except way cheesier and more over the top. I mean, Jon Voight in it is just like ridiculous, and it really is Friday Night Lights. The concept of it, of that small town, but like completely overblown stereotypes of it with Paul Walker, who's the star quarterback with the amazingly beautiful cheerleader girlfriend, and then he gets hurt and everybody hates him now because Dawson from Dawson's Creek is the good quarterback now. So yeah, it's a great movie for me, just from the aspect of it's kind of cartoony a little bit, but in a way that I enjoy.
Okay, so Varsity Blues is on the table. Do you give this, RJ? Do you give this movie a 10? A 10? A fucking 10?
Oh man, Bob, I love you so much.
Hey, and side note, it was released on my birthday in 1999. So hey, there's that.
So there's that.
Oh man, like I have actually nothing but good things to say about this movie. Like, Jon Voight is the perfect coach from hell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what is James Caan's son's name? What is his name?
James Caan. Oh, Scott.
Scott
Caan.
I don't know why I couldn't remember. Scott Caan is hilarious as tweeter. I mean, that is like the perfect example of a football who's like, I'm just on the football team to party. I just know if I'm on the football team, that means I get to do whatever I want in this town. But unfortunately, it is not a top 5 movie. It's a top 10. It's not a top 5.
All right, so that is one no. Is it a top 7?
It is not a top 7 either. it would probably barely be.
Okay then. All right then. Let's go to Jeff next. Jeff, does Varsity Blues make top 7?
Playing football at West Canaan was your life, but I don't want your life. This movie is the definition of a guilty pleasure. It is so good, but it doesn't make my top 7 for me. Top 10 easy, but yeah, oh my god. Again, another movie that's just hysterical. I was like, Tweeter is like probably the best part of this movie. The fact that he steals the cop's car and has like naked cheerleaders in the front seat, and they're like, "Oh, we got Percocet and beer in here. Come on and join the party." But no, say top 10, but not top 7.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to Dan next. Dan Reeves does what's his name? Does Dawson years at the Keanu Reeves School of Accents pay off? Does he make top 7?
I'll tell you what. Like I said, I've seen every football movie you can think of, and one I actually do like a lot. I mean, I think it's a fun movie. One of the reasons why I love it is this put Green Day on the map. If you did not know who Green Day was before you watched Varsity Blues, you knew who they were after you watched Varsity Blues. And Green Day is one of my favorite bands. But it's just off my 7. I would say 10, 11, 12 in there somewhere as far as I'm concerned. I really do enjoy the movie, and it's a fun movie. But it did not make my 7, so I would have had it off.
All right, so that is it. Varsity Blues does not make top 7. I also would have said no, despite the fact that it's a fun movie. It's ridiculous as hell. Like that's what like people who've never been to a small Texas town think a small Texas town is like. That's actually really funny. Despite James Van Der Beek's just horrible accents. I would have also given it a no. Jessica, what would you have said about Varsity Blues?
Yeah, like maybe 10, not like top 7, top 5 territory.
Nah, all right. So now we come full circle. We go back to RJ. RJ, we have 3 spots left on the top 7. Your nomination.
Man, this is a hard one because stuck between 2 movies to nominate. Both based on true story underdog stories about individual players who people say could never play. One's professional. I think I know one of them.
We all know where you're going with that one.
And I'm trying to decide whether I want to nominate the college dream or the professional dream. That's a hard one.
Okay, you know what? If you nominate the professional, I'll nominate the college, and then we'll move on.
All right. Well then I'm going to go back to Disney real quick, talking about how they make pretty decent sports movies, and I will go with Invincible. Also, hey, hell, in honor of the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles are actually even in the Super Bowl, so there you go, that too. I mean, talk about an awesome, never-told story about just a guy who one day showed up to an open tryout and just with all his heart, like maybe wasn't the best skilled guy out there, but he showed he had something that nobody else could touch. And hell, I mean, say what you want about the guy. That guy has a scored touchdown in the NFL. There's not a lot of people who can say that who've even played in the NFL that had way more talent than him. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great put together movie. Mark Wahlberg, probably one of his best in my opinion. And yeah, I think Invincible should definitely be in the conversation.
All right. So Invincible is on the table. Let's go to Jessica first. Jessica, does Invincible make top 7?
I'll be honest, I have not seen it.
Ooh, it's a good one though.
Okay. So we will go to Dan then. Dan, does Invincible make top 7?
Well, I'll tell you what. Dick Vermeil, played by Greg Kinnear, is fantastic. Vincent Papali, played by Mark Wahlberg, fantastic. I think Amy Adams might be his girlfriend. I'm not sure though.
Amy Smart.
Amy Smart.
Amy Smart. Okay, Amy Smart.
Amy Smarts.
And I thought it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but I have 7, and I'm going to stick to my 7 that I want to see make this list. And one has already made the list that I did not want to make the list. So I'm gonna have to say no on Invincible, but it doesn't mean I don't like the movie. It's a good movie, and it's a great underdog story. And that Super Bowl, I think the 1980 Super Bowl, yeah, Vincent Papali made a great play on special teams and scored a touchdown on special teams, I believe, in the game. But no, sorry.
All right, let's go to Jeff. Invincible. Make top 7.
So you got a guy here from East Pennsylvania, about an hour from Philly. So yeah, this was a big deal when this movie came out too. Much like the Eagles being in the Super Bowl is a big deal right now. Good movie. Enjoyed it for what it was. Not in my top 10 even. I was like, but I thought it was a little formulaic in some spots and kind of forgettable in some ways. But good. It's still a good movie. I mean, you're gonna run into this problem. There's a lot of great football movies out there. Unfortunately, this one just kind of fell by the wayside for me. So no.
All right, so that is it. Invincible does not make top 7. Well, first of all, let me just say his girlfriend was played by Elizabeth Banks, not Amy Smart in the movie.
Was it?
You're welcome.
Yes, it was Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Banks.
it was Lizzie Banks.
Right
close to
on the
herself.
scene, Elizabeth Banks. So it was like, oh man, this is something.
Yeah, she was a Giants
Yeah,
fan
right.
too. I remember.
As for me though, I think I also would have said, yeah, I would have said no, despite the fact that I do enjoy the movie a lot. But yeah, I just think there are more other movies that deserve a spot on this list, and that's what I'm going to nominate next. And Jim, what would you say about Invincible?
I'll keep it short and sweet. No, because fuck the Eagles.
Okay, fair enough.
Dan, any response?
Fair enough.
I have a friend who's a huge Eagles fan, and he owns 3 cheesesteak restaurants here in Orlando, and I go to his restaurants all the time. And if it was anybody else, I'd be, if the Patriots weren't in there, I'd be rooting for the Eagles, because I know this is their 3rd Super Bowl. They've lost 2 already. It's the Patriots. We got to get our 6th Super Bowl ring. We got to cement our place as the greatest team in the history of football.
Well, we can talk about this later, but we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about movies. So shut your mouth, Dan. All right. My next nomination, say it with me, guys. Rudy.
Rudiger.
I mean, come on. How did we get through 7 nominations and no one's brought up Rudy? Rudy is
because
like
you told me not to.
Yeah, because I want to be the hero. I want to nominate this movie because I love Rudy so much. Because Rudy is the epitome of like a football underdog. Yeah, exactly. Rudy is like the Rocky of football. Like this guy who everyone's telling him he can't do it, and like he doesn't listen to him. He keeps going, and you know what happens at the end? He gets in the game for one play and makes a tackle. And he is the only player to get carried out of Notre Dame. It's a great story. It was told with great skill. Sean Astin's great in it. I believe Ned Beatty is great. Vince Vaughn's in this movie, and he's awesome. Yeah, Rudy is my next nomination. So we'll go to Jim first because Jim didn't get a vote. Jim, does Rudy make top 7?
Of course. I think I've only seen it once or twice, but it's definitely a great movie, and I think it's one of, if not the best college football movie that's ever been made. I can't think of any others that come to mind that just are specifically college football. So yeah, Rudy's definitely on the list for me.
We are Marshall.
Hold on, don't show your cards just yet. All right, let's go to Jessica next. Jessica, Rudy doesn't make top 7.
Oh, God damn it, right, it does. When all of us were sitting around waiting for the Lord of the Rings movies to come out, we were all sitting there going, wait, Rudy's in this shit? I bet at least 3 of you said that.
Well, yeah.
I wasn't old enough to cut at the time. But
3 out of every 6 people said, holy shit, that's Rudy. Rudy's a hobbit? What? All right. Let's go to Dan next. Dan, does Rudy make top 7?
Well, considering obviously you know what my NFL football allegiance is. Well, my college football allegiance is Notre Dame. I've been a Notre Dame fan, Irish Catholic from Boston, Massachusetts since I was a little kid. And when I first saw this movie, you want to talk about crying as a Notre Dame fan? I bawled my eyes. I was probably about 11 or 12 years old, and I bought this is a phenomenal movie. Once again, Jon Favreau's in here as his buddy. Charles S. Dutton, if you don't know who Charles S. Dutton is, a really good actor of that era. I mean, Rudy is obviously and clearly one of the best football movies of all time, and it was definitely in my top 7. So yes, Rudy's in there.
All right, top 7. Jeff, RJ, you did not get your votes didn't count. So Jeff, what would you have said to Rudy?
Oh, Rudy lives in the top 5. Come on.
Hold on, don't show your cards yet. Don't show your cards yet. We still got some show to do. All right, and RJ, what would you have said?
I mean, it was either that or Invincible. So yeah, I mean, like I was gonna nominate that one on my turn. But yeah, Rudy, I mean, that's one of the most rewatchable movies for me in general, even beyond sports movies. It's one of the most rewatchable ones I own. So yeah, Rudy definitely would have made top 5. Even though apparently the story's not completely accurate. I did have a cousin who went to Notre Dame and she found out like the whole truth and stuff. But I was like, I still enjoy the movie for what it is.
Exactly. All right, now we go back to Jeff. Jeff, your nomination next, buddy. What do you want to put up for top 7?
I know we've been
talking. 2 spots left.
I know we've been talking a lot about like the dramatic stuff, and then we talked about Varsity Blues that kind of lives in its own right as its way. I'm gonna go comedic again, just like Replacements, a classic comedic football movie, The Waterboy. No. Oh, I'm hearing no's already. No, The Waterboy is so funny. Come on, it's just so fun. Come on.
I did not realize how loud I was talking, but you can finish your thoughts on Waterboy if you want.
I was like, yeah, the Waterboy. It's one of Sandler's best, not his best, but one of his best, in my opinion. Instantly quotable.
Okay.
And the football's actually not bad.
All right. I gotta vent first. So Waterboy's on the table. I'm gonna be the first to give this a hearty fuck no. I have never gotten the love of this movie. It's just Adam Sandler doing his balls on a cheese grater annoying voice for like 2 hours. It's offensive to Louisianans. It's offensive to linebackers.
Captain Insano, so Murphy.
Rob Schneider's running around doing stuff. There is one great quote that, out of context of the movie, it's really funny. It's Rob Schneider going, "Hey, we suck again." And what wrestler was in that movie? Was it Hulk
Captain
Hogan?
Insano.
Hulk Hogan. What wrestler was in that movie?
Big Show.
It was Big Show, yeah.
That's right. His cameo was pretty fun, but yeah, no, I've never gotten Waterboy, so maybe because I'm not a Sandler fan, but yeah, no, I'm giving Waterboy a no. Let's go to okay. Now that I got a chance to vent, let's go to RJ next. RJ, Waterboy doesn't make top 7.
Unfortunately, no. Definitely a top 5 of Adam Sandler, but not a top 5 for football.
Ugh, I'd fight you on both those points. Let's go to does Waterboy make top 7?
You know what? Yeah, it does. It is it's almost right on the cusp of maybe being there, maybe not. But you know what? Goddamn it, Gatorade! And yes, people down there do talk like that. So, my fucking cousin's husband. That dude needs subtitles.
Congratulations, you're still alive. Jim, Waterboy doesn't make top 7.
I agree with Jessica. We've all seen Duck Dynasty and Swamp People. You need subtitles for those people. It's not offensive if it's true. But I'm gonna agree with Jessica and say yes, just because I can quote it all day long, and it's just I love it. I know what the deciding vote's about to be, but I'm gonna vote yes so we can hear Dan rant about it.
All right, Dan, save the show.
All right,
what did it say about Waterboy?
Let me tell you guys something. You don't know this. Nobody knows this, but I'm going to tell you the truth about the Waterboy. It was actually filmed in the town that I live in at Spec Martin Stadium before they redid the entire stadium. That's how they got the money to redo the stadium here in DeLand, Florida. And it was also filmed in the Citrus Bowl, which is in Orlando, Florida. And I have friends that stood in line for hours and hours and hours to be extras in the crowd on The Waterboy. So I like The Waterboy. I do not hate The Waterboy, but it is not top 7 football movies. And it's actually right there, like somebody said, on the Adam Sandler kind of line of he just went down a friggin' hole and he never came back. But this is like in the middle of that line where he was doing some good stuff. His sports stuff was actually some of his better stuff, in my opinion. Happy Gilmore, some of these films. The Waterboy is one of the better films by Adam Sandler, in my opinion. But no, it is not on the top 5 football movies or top 7 football movies. But I do like it and I do enjoy it, and I frequently watch it every once in a while.
Okay, hold on. Fact check. Has Adam Sandler actually been out of the hole? I'm pretty sure he spent his career in the hole. Like, he's never gotten out of it. But nevertheless, Waterboy.
Leave him alone.
His early stuff, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, what else? Come on.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
It's mindless laughs, Chance. It's don't overthink it. They're mindless. They're mindless laugh movies.
I know a lot of people don't like it.
it.
I enjoy Little Nicky a lot more than most people do.
Oh,
Mr. Bean.
RJ, I never wanted to hit you so much as I do right now. Either way, let's move on. Waterboy does not make top 7. We still have 2 spots left. I believe we're back to Jessica. Jessica, what do you want to nominate for top 7?
Oh. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I've got 2 different ones here. You know what? We'll go with the movie that was so nice they made it twice. The Longest Yard.
Wait, which one?
Which one?
Burt Reynolds or Adam Sandler?
We're going to go with the original 1974.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Burt Reynolds.
All right, that's it.
At his Burt Reynolds-iness. I don't even know if you could really call it his prime, but at his most Burt Reynolds.
I mean, essentially it was. I mean, the Smoking the Band was around the same time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a nice, big, like, we talk about these ones that are that are all based on a true story or whatever, because that's a really easy well to go to for a football movie. Another nice, original idea on a football movie.
All right. So, Jeff, we will let you go first. The original Longest Yard is on the table.
Longest Yard. Ooh.
Yes,
I'm gonna go with a no on this one, just because I've only seen it like once or twice, and it didn't really do much for me. Even the remake, it has its moments, but the original, no.
All right. Go to RJ next. RJ Yard does it make top 7?
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I did watch Longest Yard because I enjoy the hell out of the newer one. I'm actually a really big Sandler fan. I don't know why. Like, his humor just speaks to me. Don't get me wrong, his Netflix stuff sucks. But when he was actually making movies, I actually enjoyed most of them. But so I watched the original when someone finally told me, like, hey, this is a remake, right? So I watched it. It just didn't really click. It might be an age thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely not, like, don't get me wrong, neither of them are top 5 for me. But I do enjoy the newer one more, so I'm definitely going to have to give this one a no.
All right. And then we'll go to Dan. Dan, does
Dan, come to my rescue.
The Longest Yard. Longest Yard make top 7.
Unfortunately, neither one of the Longest Yard movies makes the top 7. This one is the better of the 2. Burt Reynolds in his prime, and it's a good movie. But it's not in my top 7 football movies, and I would think it would be in a lot of people's top 7, but it just wouldn't be in mine. So I'm saying no on The Longest Yard.
All right. So the longest Yard gets a no. Jim, what would you have said about The Longest Yard?
Haven't seen the original.
Okay. I did see.
I do enjoy the remake. It's It's another mindless Adam Sandler one, but I haven't seen the original.
And let's not forget all the wrestler cameos in the newer one.
Yeah,
there's
there's a few in that one.
There's quite a few in that one.
Oh yeah, it's like Stone Cold's in it.
Goldberg's in it.
Kevin Nash is in it.
Kevin Nash.
The Great Khali is in it.
The Great Khali is probably one of the funnier ones of it at the end. I'm glad you are back. Now I do not have to stab you.
Yeah, I do agree. I would actually give it a yes. I do actually really enjoy the original Longest Yard, way better than the remake, by the way. But nevertheless, it does not make top 7. So now we go back to Dan. Dan,
right,
what movie do you want to nominate for top 7?
All right. Well, I just want to preface this by saying I'm a little older than all you guys, and I've been watching movies a lot longer than all of you guys have been watching movies. So I've been watching some movies that maybe were before your time, and I have 2 to choose from, and it's just kind of tough for me because I just want you guys to pick one of these 2 to make the top 7. But I have a feeling neither one of them will make it. So I'm just going to go with the one that I feel like is more legitimately a great football movie, really portrays the game of football, even though it's not real NFL teams, but it really has a sense of how the NFL is on the field, off the field, in the locker room. And it has a great performance by Nick Nolte. It's called North Dallas 40. And this is a really hard-hitting football movie about the business of football and what can happen if you don't do things the right way. If the injuries that happen, how you have to be shot up with needles, and they just tape these guys up and send them back out there to play. And the things that are going through the owner's minds and the things that are going through the coach's minds and so forth. And there's a lot of cursing. There's a little bit of nudity in there because it's about hard-hitting, partying NFL players. And Nick Nolte gives one of his better performances. I know a lot of you all probably have not seen North Dallas 40, but I implore you, if you haven't seen it, to see this movie. It's a great movie, and it really portrays the game of football, especially the NFL, the way you should see it, to see what goes on behind the scenes and in the locker room and in the boardroom and so forth and whatnot. So I nominate North Dallas 40.
All right. I will go. Sorry. I will go first. I have seen North Dallas 40. You just want to yes. Like you're right. It does do a really good job portraying the business aspect of football before the business of football really got before business football was what it is today. Nick Nolte, he's great in it. The entire cast is fantastic, and yeah, I'll give North Dallas 40 a yes. Let's go to I'm gonna most likely Jeff. Have you seen North Dallas 40, and do you give it a yes?
I have seen North Dallas 40. Yeah, I'm actually surprised somebody brought that up. Good movie, and again, but we're getting into a list where I think there's just a little bit better movies out there. It would just miss my top 10. I'm going to give it a no on this one. I think there's just a couple others that are a little bit better than it, though.
All right, we'll go to Jessica next. Jessica, does North Dallas 40?
Yeah, this is one of those other ones that, I have not gotten to this one yet.
All right, then. RJ, we seen North Dallas 40?
Nope. Actually,
right,
when he was describing it, I thought he was going for a totally different movie until he said Nick Nolte, and then I was like, nope, that's not where he was going with that.
I think I know what movie you're talking about, RJ, but I'm going to repeat the sentiments of Jessica and RJ. I have not seen it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, sorry, Dan. North Dallas 40 does not make top.
It's a good one, though.
It is a good one. I do like North Dallas. Jim, we are back to you. What do you want to nominate next? We're getting nitty-gritty.
I kind of want to go with the movie that RJ was just talking about, but I'm gonna have to go with a more fun movie. It's more fun than anything else, and I know it probably won't make the list, but guys, I just got to ask you, just one time. Come on, The Little Giants. The Little Giants is easily the most fun football movie you can watch. I mean, it's got Ed O'Neill, Rick Moranis, and playing the two brothers, and I think it's a cute movie, and it's probably the funnest football movie that you can watch, and it's just it's I'm a '90s kid, so it came out when I was a kid, and I always liked rewatching The Little Giants.
All right. First, I know I shut down Waterboy earlier.
Hey, you went first last time.
Let me finish. Doesn't matter as long as we get the votes in. I'm actually giving this one a yes. I do think this movie does a really good job of portraying what it's like to be the last one picked. I mean, granted, if I was like, I probably relate more to the Cowboys because I was never that kid when I was in school, but I do know those kids, and yeah, it portrays the feeling of like, when nobody wants you around, it must really suck. And yeah, it's a fun movie. It's great for kids. It's a great look at Pee Wee football, which is something we don't get to see a lot in film. So yeah, I'm gonna straight enough give Little Giants a yes. All right, RJ's raging out on me, so we'll go to RJ next. RJ does Little Giants make top 7.
I just have to say, screw you, Jeremy, because yes, it does get a yes. Jeremy can complain about it all he wants. Little Giants is one of the more fun family movies for football. I mean, it's like you said, well, you say you weren't one of those kids. I was. Like I said, growing up in Texas, everyone could play football. I could not. I did not have the football gene. I just didn't have the skill for it. I was maybe more like, what was the? I was like the kid who could catch the toilet paper. I had some athletic ability, but when it came to actual skill, I couldn't catch. I couldn't actually perform in under the pressure. So, like, as much as I was good at flag football, though, if that counts, but yeah,
Sure.
Little Giants is always a great movie to watch. And yeah, it's about football, so it counts. So yes, Little Giants should at least be considered.
All right, we will go to Dan next. Dan, does Little Giants make top 7?
Hell no, it does not make sense. This isn't even close to one of the football movies. Come on, guys, have some sense here. This movie is not even one of the best Christian feel-good football movies. I can name 3 other ones. Woodlawn. I mean, I can name 2 other ones besides Woodlawn that are Christian movies that are just as good. The Fifth Quarter that are just as good as, if not better than this movie. This movie, come on, guys, be sensible here. This isn't one of the best top 5, top 7 football movies. It really isn't.
I think sensibility is at the window at this point. Let's go to Jeff next. Jeff, does Little Giants make top 7?
Oh, I'm the deciding factor here. This is a lot of pressure right now.
Not yet. Well, no, you're not actually.
We still got
you and Jessica.
Oh, we still got Jessica.
Pressure's on you, Jessica.
Man, I remember watching this movie as a kid, and I remember loving this movie as a kid. Yeah, because it talks to the underdog, and it talks to the kid that never got the chance to play, and it told everybody you deserve a chance to play, even if you don't win, or if you win by a little or win by a lot. Everybody deserves a chance to play. And another great John Madden cameo in this one. Come on, this would be a yes. Simply on nostalgia.
Little Giants makes top 7.
Sorry, Dan. I love that movie.
It makes the list. Oh boy. All right. Jessica, what would you have said?
I literally was that girl who was told that she could not join the football team. God damn it, right, this thing is making my list.
All right.
Yes.
So there's one more spot left on the list, and Dan Allen is pissed. All right. So, RJ, we're back to you, buddy. We have one more spot. What do you got? RJ.
Who? Well,
You.
honestly, I only got one movie left, so I'm pretty sure this one's not going to make it, but might as well talk about it because I got it left, and that's Blindside. Michael Oher story. It was a good movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Another surprise performance by Tim McGraw. Sandra Bullock was really good in it, and you know, it was just a nice football movie. Like I said, I don't expect it to make it because it was actually the last movie I had. I just needed a top 7. That was my 7th, but I got nothing left to nominate. So yeah, Blindside.
All right, Jessica, we'll go to you first. Does Mystical Negro Football make the list?
No. Just, yeah, no. A football movie's supposed to be a little bit more about the football and not some frigid white bitch on the sidelines trying to be the little savior.
That's fair.
All right. White. All right. So, what? I think White Guild is getting to you guys. Dan, does the Blindside make the list?
I'll tell you what. When this movie came out and Sandra Bullock was being talked about for this role as an Oscar winner or Oscar contender, I'm thinking, have you seen Julie and Julia? Have you seen Meryl Streep? She kills it as Julia Child. How does Sandra Bullock in this role as Leanne Toohey is her name? What is it about people in this role with her portraying this mother with this Southern accent and the husband owns a bunch of Taco Bells? Tim McGraw. What is it about this? But you know what? I mean, it does pull at your heartstrings. And good sports movies and good movies in general do pull at your heartstrings. But I have to say, I would say top 10, top 9, top 10, top 11. But it's not on my list of top 7 football movies. But I did enjoy this movie. But I still wish Meryl Streep would have won that award instead of Sandra Bullock.
Debatable. Let's go to Jeff next. Jeff, does The Blindside make top 7?
I remember when this came out and I watched it the first time. I was like, this is not bad. This is all right. Then the second watch, I was like, this really isn't as good as I thought it was. And coming from a Ravens fan, Mike Orr, yeah, he was a great left tackle and helped win us a Super Bowl. But it was barely about him. It was more so about Sandra Bullock's character, which I thought his story was way more interesting and could have really made a much better film. No for me. Big no.
All right, so that's it. The Blindside does not make top 7. Jim, what would you have said about The Blindside?
I actually really enjoyed it, and I love Sandy B. So since my vote doesn't count, I would have said yes.
Yeah.
I would have said yes to the Super Bowl winning left tackle Michael Orr.
And as the token black person on this panel, and Full Metal Media in general, you know what? I'm fine with a few White Savior movies here and now. I'm fine with this one. I think I would have given it. I would give it a yes too. I enjoyed the movie. I watched it with my family. It's a nice little watch. So I believe we are back to me. Yeah, we're running really low. All right. I'm going to throw up. I'm between 2. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with The Express, which, for those of you who don't know, The Express is the story about Ernie Davis. Ernie Davis was a college football player. He was the very first African-American player to win the Heisman Trophy. Everyone thought he was going to be, and really is focused on his college life, a part of his professional career, but really it's what he did in college that was the most important stuff, because he changed the aspect of college football. And he kind of brought recognition to African American athletes in college, because before that, it was all like white dudes winning the Heisman, and then he came along, he won it, and then he's a figure in the African American community, and it's great. It's an enjoyable movie. Dennis Quaid's really good in it, and we're getting to the nitty gritty here, folks. So The Express is my next vote. So to Jeff first. Jeff, does The Express make the top 10? Top 7, not top 10.
Movie I saw a long time ago, and yeah, it was a good movie at the time. Unfortunately, I felt like it was like a little formulaic in some spots and kind of forgettable in some ways, but it's a great story. Ernie Davis it's a very tragic story what happened to him, and That's unfortunately for me. It's a no. Good movie though, but no.
All right. Let's go to Dan next. Dan, does The Express make top 7?
I'll tell you what, I am really impressed, Chance, that you picked The Express. It's one of my favorite football movies. That is in my top 7 football movies of all time. And Jim Brown does not win the Heisman Trophy, plays for Syracuse. Ernie Brown comes and he follows him, and they end up both playing for the Cleveland Browns. And I'll tell you what, you know, those scenes where they go to Texas and they have to play in the Sugar Bowl and the stuff that that team went through and stuff like that is really some dramatic stuff. I really love this film. Like you said, Dennis Quaid's been in like 3 or 4 sports movies. He's one of those guys, kind of like Kevin Costner, that's been in a bunch of sports movies. I really, really liked Rob Brown in this role of Ernie Davis, and this is a big yes for me. I really enjoyed the Express. This is the kind of movie I think we should be nominating for these top 7, top 5 football movies.
Okay, so that's one. That's one vote for The Express, 1 vote against. Let's go to RJ next. RJ, does The Express make top 7?
This is probably the hardest one I've had to think about for a while because I do enjoy the hell out of that movie. There's maybe one movie I think that might be better than it, but with my track record, I don't know if it's worth voting against The Express to try to see if it would make it. You know what? I'm going to give The Express a yes. I do really enjoy that movie. It's another rewatchable one for me. It's a really good story.
All right. So that's 2 votes for The Express. Jessica, does The Express make top 7?
I have not seen it.
All right, then. So, Jim, you are the deciding vote.
I have to say what Jessica said. I have not seen The Express.
Well, shit. Okay. Well, The Express does not make top 7. That's a shame.
But it
All
wasn't
right, so
my
now
fault. That's all I'm going to
no,
say.
it was not. All right, Jeff, I want to see you pull out next because we're back to you. So
Yeah, so this
Here you
list
go,
is
man.
getting pretty short right now. Just look at what I have. One that I'm actually kind of surprised was not mentioned yet. It's definitely not in my top 7, but I would say top 10. Any Given Sunday. I mean, it's not the best one, but it goes without mentioning. It's at least enjoyable in some spots. It goes through a lot of dynamics through not just the football team, but through the management itself, with Cameron Diaz's character trying to fill the role of general manager, and James Woods being the team doctor and being very shady. And it was an enjoyable movie for what it was. And Al Pacino does a pretty good job as a coach.
all right, so Any Given Sunday is Jesus. Any Given Sunday is on the table. All right, Jim, have you?
Yes, I've seen Any Given Sunday. It is kind of like it tries too hard a little bit. But I think there's some good performances in it, like Jamie Foxx. You know, you gotta love Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Gotta love the
And
song too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a super huge amount to say on it, but just kind of like looking at what's left, it's hard to say no to Any Given Sunday. So I'll give it a yes.
All right. I'll go to me next. Yeah, I think if this would come out in like round 1, I don't like this. The first batch, I think I would have said no, but since we're down to shaky territory. The movie's a little long, and that's because Oliver Stone does not know how to. He believes in excess, and that's fine. But still, yeah, it's one of the few good later performances of Al Pacino. Like Jim said, Jamie Foxx is great in the movie. LL Cool J is good. Like, it has a good cast. And once again, Dennis Quaid is in this movie, and he's also really good. So, yeah, I will give Any Given Sunday a yes. Let's go to Dan. Dan, does Any Given Sunday make top 7?
Look, I mean, it's another football movie that I like. I like Jamie Foxx. I like Cameron Diaz. I mean, I like these people in the movie. It just isn't top 7 football movie for me. And I just wish, you guys would just give me a chance to nominate something else and vote this down, because this isn't one of the top 5 or 7 football movies, and it's got some flaws. And I'm a big Al Pacino fan. Al Pacino is my second favorite actor. I've watched everything the guy's been in, and he's phenomenal. This isn't even one of Oliver Stone's best films, and it's not even close to being one of Al Pacino's best films. So, with that being said, I definitely tell you guys it's not one of the best football movies. It really isn't. So, no for me.
But you gotta think, like, we are running dangerously low on football movies.
I got some over here.
That people have seen.
Yes.
All right, RJ, does Any Given Sunday make top 7?
I don't know if we could take that chance that Dan actually has another football movie that we've seen.
I don't believe him.
I got a stack of them over here, guys. I got a stack of them.
He says that now, and then he says the movie, and half of us say we haven't seen it, and it gets and it goes away by default.
I'd give him a chance.
Yeah.
Chance, is he next?
Vote with your heart, RJ. Huh? He is next.
Is he
Yes.
next? All right, then no. I'll give it Sunday a no. I'll give him a shot. Because I've never seen Any Given Sunday all the way through, so it wasn't a movie that resonated.
Next, actually. Jessica's next. I misspoke. Jessica's next.
Oh, you dick. Well, either way, I got to say no to Any Given Sunday.
All right, well, Jessica, you are Jesus Christ. Jessica, you're the deciding vote. Does Any Given Sunday make top 7?
I mean, the movie as a whole, probably not. But I mean, if we were just talking about the inspirational monologue in the locker room, then hells to the yeah. I mean, there's parts that are amazing. It's just the movie as a whole just.
So that's a no. Is that a yes?
Is that a no?
It's a no.
Okay.
Oh,
we move on.
Let's see what 1972 stands out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna switch you and Dan real quick. I want to see who's gonna pull out. Dan, your show.
I'll tell you what.
Did you keep shutting us down?
I got a great movie in my hand, but I know you guys are gonna vote it no. But I just can't help. I want to talk about this so bad, but I know you guys probably have never seen it. It's got one of the greatest speeches in football history, and it stars one of our presidents. But I know you guys aren't going to go for it, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about something more modern, and I tell you, with the whole CTC kind of thing going on with the concussions and the football equipment and these players from the 80s and 70s driving their truck into traffic and just having like mental breakdowns. I think a movie that really should be talked about in one of Will Smith's better performances in a long, long time is Concussion. And Concussion really tells a story about Roger Goodell. What was Roger Goodell thinking that the game of football, the field that they were playing on and the equipment that they were using weren't causing these brain problems of these. David Morse. I don't know if you guys know who David Morse is, but he's a really good character actor. He plays a Pittsburgh Steelers guy by the name of Mike Webster. And Mike Webster was considered a blistering linebacker for the Steel Curtain defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 70s. And this guy portrayed him as he was just disheveling. He was just falling apart at the seams because the CTC disease that he had, the missing spots in his brain. And this doctor, played by Will Smith, has to really fight to get the NFL to recognize the dangers of what was going on, how they were tackling the fields that they were playing on this AstroTurf with concrete underneath. And I have a friend, his name is Leon Bright, played for the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He played on that field, and he suffers from CTC. And he's very lucky that he got help when he did and had his wife and doctors all over the country look at him and try to help him. This is a debilitating disease for NFL players, and we need to look at helping these guys. The NFL needed to look at, and finally it took Roger Goodell and the NFL to say, yes, we agree. We know now what this disease has done to our players, and we need to go back and start helping them with their medical and being responsible for what these players went through in their careers. And so that's why I wanted to nominate something else, but I knew you guys wouldn't have gone for it. So I decided to nominate something more relevant, and that is concussion.
All right, Jessica, and what do you have to say about concussion?
All right, we can't hear you, Chance. We couldn't hear you.
All right, Jessica.
I'm going to let Dan have this one. It's kind of that dark side of football that we're not really supposed to talk about beyond whispers between the women folk. You kind of say, but that movie kind of came out at just the right time to be able to kind of spear this conversation into the forefront of more than just hardcore football fans. Because I'm pretty sure people like me and Dan were the only ones talking about all these football players that had way too many bumps to the head and kind of lost their god-darn minds.
All right, I will go to I'll go to me next. Yeah, I'm also gonna let Dan have this one, not just because we need to get to the next round, but also because I think concussion's actually I thought it was pretty underrated. Like you said, Will Smith. This is the best. Like up to this point, this is the best we've seen Will Smith in a while. Like he was really good. Like at a certain point, you forget he's doing entire cast was great. Luke Wilson as Roger Goodell was great. The character he brought up, I forgot his.
Mike Wells.
David Morse. David Morse is also really good. Yeah, he's also really good. Yeah, I do think it's a enjoyable movie with a really good message about the other side of football that you really people should know more about. So yeah, I will give it a yes. Let's go to Jeff.
This was a tough movie to watch. I mean, talk about something that really needed to be said. I mean, as much as this is a big problem in football, the league really tried to sweep this under the rug and tried to kind of cover it up in a way. This was something that needed to be said, and it is a good movie. I would give this one a yes. I say simply just based on the fact that there are great performances in it, and the message behind it needed to be said, and it was something that people should be aware of. So I give it a yes. Good choice, Dan.
All right, so good choice, Dan. That is it. You can have that win. You can have that win because we now have our top 7. Real quick, is there anything anyone else wants to throw out before we move on? I know we went through a lot. We burned through a lot.
I would have voted no because I have not seen that movie, and I specifically did not watch that movie because I'm not for the League is evil type of person. So I was like, I know everyone thinks the League is evil. I don't want to go sit in a movie theater for 2 hours and Will Smith tell me why the League is evil. So I was like, whatever. I'll pass.
RJ, what would you say about concussion?
I enjoyed it for what it was. I probably would have just given it a yes to end this because I'm pretty sure we were not going to have any movie that 3 people were going to agree on after this point.
After that, we would have had to go to Made for TV.
Yeah, we go to we go after that. We get to Leatherheads, and we get to also Wildcats, also dumb crap. But anyways, we have our top 7 at long last, people. We do the longest episodes as biopics. All right,
Can I just
top 7 we have. Go ahead, Dan.
Can I just show you guys the movie I wanted to nominate that I knew you guys wouldn't have done, but it's a phenomenal movie and it has one of the greatest speeches in in movie history, and the main character is played by our president, Ronald Reagan, and that was Newt Rockney, All-American. And it is a fantastic movie, and I just knew you guys would have voted it down, so that's why I didn't nominate it.
Ronald Reagan, the actor.
Ronald Reagan, the actor. Yep. And in the gift, win one for the gifter. It's really the Rudy movie before Rudy. It's really the Rudy movie before Rudy. All right.
I think I would have said yes to that one. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
What? Say that, Chance?
All right. No, I said I would have said yes to that.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, so here we go. Our top 7, for those keeping track, we have Friday Night Lights, Remember the Titans, The Replacements, Brian's Song, Rudy, Little Giants, and Concussion. All right. At long last, we have our list. Now, here's what we got to do. We got to kick 2 of these off. So, since Dan's a disgruntled old man, we'll let him nominate the first movie to get off the list. So, Dan?
I'm voting Little Giants off the list. Get this off the list. Little Giants.
All right.
So, same rules apply. Same rules apply. It needs 3 votes to get kicked off. Let's go to Jessica first, because I accidentally took her turn. Jessica, does Little Giants stay on the list?
There's a few too many other movies on here I like better, even though this one speaks to me on way too deep a level. I think it's going to have to go.
1 vote for off. Let's go to RJ next. RJ, stay on the list.
You know, it's screw Jeremy again. Guess it stays. Y'all can vote it up if y'all want, but in my mind, it stays.
All right. Let's go to Jim. You put Little Giants on, or are you going to knock it off?
Of course not. I'm not going to knock it off. Little Giants lives.
Okay.
Come on, Jeff.
Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, Little
Come on, Jeff.
Giants. Does it stay on or does it go off?
As much as my 90s nostalgia heart wants me to keep it on, there's just some that are just a little bit better. It just misses top 5 for me. I got to go no.
All right. So I am the deciding vote in this case. This is hard.
One time, Chance.
Not one time, Jeff. No.
One time. Dan, shut up. Shut up. I'm going to say yes, Dan. Little Giants is a very good kids movie. Still holds up to this day. And I'm still going to say no. It's off the top 7. I was so close, but at the end of the day, I do think there are 5 other better football movies even on this list. All right. So now we go to, you know what, Jim, I'll let you get your revenge pick. What do you want to nominate to get kicked off the top 7?
Well, basically because I just shitted on it, I'm gonna nominate Concussion.
Concussion.
Strictly because I mean,
okay.
it's between Concussion and Brian's Song to where I haven't seen either, so it's the obvious pick for me. So Concussion.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dan.
I'll put it this time around. I will go first time around. Yeah, I'm Concussion. It doesn't hold a candle to any of these. Well, maybe they're replacements. I'm still gonna say yes for Concussions to get off the list. So, Dan, does Concussion stay or does it go?
Yes, of course it stays on. It's better than the Replacements. Come on, guys, have some sense. Get rid of the Replacements, not Concussion, please. For the love of God, please.
I kind of want to have Dan this, but I digress. RJ, wait, had you seen it? Yeah, you had. Okay, RJ, does Concussion stay on the list or does it go?
I'm going to tell y'all right now, had Little Giants stayed on, both Dan's picks would have been gone for mine. So yeah, Concussion goes. Because at least Brian Song's
All right.
actually about at least has the more football in it than Concussion does.
We are all right. We are one vote away from Concussion being knocked off the list. I'm gonna go to wait. No, yeah, we are one vote away. So Jeff, does it go?
Oh, did you say me?
Yeah, you, Jeff.
Oh, I'm gonna go with an off just because this is a tough movie to watch. I'll say it's not one of those movies I'm gonna be like, I want to watch Concussion again. You got to be in a mood to watch this movie. I'm gonna go with a no.
All right, that is it. Concussion is gone. It's out of here. Who said about Concussion?
Who were you talking to, Chance?
Jessica.
Jessica. Okay.
As much as I wanted to keep the movie, as I would have wanted to keep the movie that I nominated, I probably would have kicked it off for this movie.
All right. So that is it. So now we go to the final round of the selecting process. The rankings period. So what we're going to do is a spot is on the list is going to be up for voting. What we're just going to do, we're going to take our whiteboards or pen and paper, whatever, and write down what movie you believe deserves to go in that spot. So quick rundown before we go. We have Friday Night Lights, Remember the Titans, The Replacements, Brian's Song, Rudy, and that's it. All right, so if you will kindly write down what you believe deserves to go in the number 5 spot. All right. Looks like everyone's about ready. I'm but I'll go Tim first anyways. Dan.
You see that right there, guys? The replacements.
Replacements.
Get that crap at number 5,
Yeah.
please. Do me a favor.
We see you, Dan. Let's go to RJ.
Sorry, haven't seen it, and it's a TV movie. Brian Song.
Oh,
But it's a movie.
Jim.
Sorry, haven't seen it. It's a TV movie. Brian Song.
It's a movie. When you said
Jeff.
football movies, when you said football movies, you didn't say TV or otherwise. You said football movies, and it's a movie.
I just haven't seen it. I just wanted to repeat what RJ said, though.
Jeff.
I gotta go Replacements on that one. It's a
All
good
right, so
movie, but I think
it's
Brian
really-
Song's just a little bit better.
It's 2-2. Jessica.
Come on, Jessica.
You know, I really hate voting with a Patriot. Just for the record. Replacements.
All right, and I also had The Replacements. The
Oh,
Replacements gets the number 5. Gets the number 5 spot on the list. All right, now if you will write down what you think deserves to go in the number 4 spot on the list. All right. Looks like we are about ready. And I will go first this time around. I said Brian's Song. Go to Jessica.
I actually went with Friday Night Lights.
Okay. Jeff.
Jerry, we lost you.
Jeff.
I was gonna say, yeah, you cut out there. This was a tough one. I gotta go Brian Song though on this one.
All right. Jim, you're saying.
Brian Song.
Oh, forget it then.
Oh.
Come on, RJ.
RJ.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Chance keeps cutting in and out. I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't even bother erasing
Sorry.
it because I haven't seen it. So Brian Song.
And well, it doesn't matter, Dan. What would you have said?
Friday Night Lights.
All right. Well, Brian's Song gets number 4 spot on the list. So now write down what you believe to go. Should be in the number 3 spot.
This is the toughest one so far.
Yeah.
Nah, next
Nope.
one's gonna be the
Yes, it
toughest.
is. All right. Yeah, this one's definitely the hardest so far. These are three great movies. And
Once again, Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights. RJ.
Yeah, this is actually a no-brainer for me. Friday Night Lights.
Really? Jim.
I put Rudy.
Jeff.
This was tough. Friday Night Lights.
So that closes it unless Jessica.
Jessica, you're up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights.
All right. Well, that's it. Doesn't matter what I said. Friday Night Lights makes number 3. All right. So now you vote on what you believe is the number 1 football movie of all time.
This is where it gets hard.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Not anymore. Not anymore. All right. So I go about ready. I will go first. I said Rudy. Let's go to Jessica.
I said Rudy too.
Jeff.
Everywhere we go, people want to know. Remember the Titans. Come on.
Jim.
Who we are, so
Who
we tell them. We are the Titans. Remember the Titans is number 1.
Oh God! Please say this is not. RJ.
No, don't let him go.
Sorry, guys. It's not about the individual. It's about the team. Remember the Titans.
Good vote, RJ. Good vote.
And Dan.
I have Rudy.
Oh, oh man.
Ugh.
Shit. This is why we don't do even numbers, because I foresaw this exact situation.
Why is that the winner? Is Rudy the winner?
No, we're
No,
tied.
it's 3-3.
3-3.
It's deadlocked. All right. Okay. You know what?
So what do we do?
All right, Dan.
Go ahead.
Here's what we're gonna do. All right, so we're gonna have from each side pitch as to why we should change our votes. So Dan, tell RJ and Jim why they should change to Remember the Titans, and Jeff, tell me and Jessica why we should change to Rudy. Understand? You gotta sway the votes. You gotta sway the
All right,
votes.
so, okay, Chance. Hold on.
So,
okay, Jeff is going to speak for Remember the Titans, and who's going to speak for Rudy?
You, honey.
You.
Okay. Well,
I was saying you cut out there a little bit.
Who goes first, Jeff or I?
Sorry. All right, so Dan,
There we
I'll
go.
give you 30 seconds to talk about Rudy.
All right. Well, Rudy is if you've ever seen South Bend, Indiana, this is one of the most amazing places in the face of the earth. It is a beautiful, pristine place. It has a giant mural on the side of a building called Touchdown Jesus, and it has Rudy Rudiger. He lifts up the echoes and he freaking makes a huge play, even though Joe Montana says it never happened. Joe Montana was there. He played in that game against Georgia Tech. Charles S. Dutton, John Favreau, Vince Vaughn. It's such an inspirational story. You got to vote for Rudy.
All right. Now, Jeff, I will give 30 seconds to tell me why we should vote for Remember the Titans.
Again, Remember the Titans. This was a movie and a true life story that talked about desegregation. It took two races that were completely at each other's throats. Tensions were high, and you had one thing that united two completely separate races together. When you put on that uniform, that Titan uniform, you are a team. And come on, sing it with me. Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough.
Okay, now revotes.
Good song.
Everybody revotes. All right. Okay, Dan, you can show your cards. I already know where you're going.
Rudy.
Rudy. All right. RJ.
Remember the Titans.
Jim, I'm just gonna skip past you.
I said, remember the Titans. Ain't no mountain high enough.
That's what I thought. Jeff, I already know you said remember the Titans.
Ain't no valley low enough. It just gives me an excuse to
All
say.
right, so Dan did not. Dan, RJ, or Jim. Jeff, Jessica, did Jeff sway you?
Say yes.
If you're gonna wear this hat, you know you gotta be a stubborn little expletive deleted.
Well, we come back to me, and Jeff, you swayed me. Remember the Titans.
Yes!
All right, so just
was really close.
Just to run down for people at home, we have number 5, The Replacements. Number 4, Brian's Song. Number 3, Friday Night Lights. Number 2, Rudy, and the number 1 football movie of all time, Remember the Titans. Man, this was our longest episode since the biopics one, but this is fun. This is fun. We are now we are no longer doing this in even. Or we might. It's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Never again.
We might keep doing this. Possibly. That
I gotta find another song to sing then.
Maybe a Full Metal 7, but never a Full Metal 6.
Maybe. All right. Full Metal 7. We might in the future or bring 6 back. I don't know. But anyway, this is my panel. That is Jessica.
Jessica,
That is.
you got anything to say?
Sorry?
That is Jeff. Do you want to send us out on a song, buddy?
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough.
We gotta draft you for the Full Metal Media theme song. We'll get on that later. That is Jim. That's Dan. And I'm your host, Chance Ellison. Thank you for joining us for this very long-winded episode of Full Metal 5. We will see you next time.
Ryan Gosling was a liability at